Hello, and welcome to Truther News. I am your host, Ben Blagging you all. Today on Truther News we have a £10,000 challenge. James Malville blocks free speech. And the latest from the extremist Free Big Psy movement. Our first story comes from a small YouTube channel with a very, very big challenge. Arthur Brotleibe has set a £10,000 challenge to the Gateshead gunman and fake weapons expert Mark Steele.
So the antenna strip, see that piece of PCB board is a resistor, so it only emits in this 180-degree emission. Yeah, and obviously they didn't like that. Some clowns made some noise about it, but unfortunately, I don't know where they get their brains from, but it wasn't from an electronics manual. And you get that all the time, you know, the trolls. I'm an electronics expert. Where? Who? How? Well, are you a weapons expert? The fact is, no, they probably haven't got a Scooby, like, you know, and the reason why they don't understand what a capacitor is, down this antenna, right, which can then cause an attack, okay, because like I said, it's a...
So, it would seem Mark Steele is at it again with this device, the leaf node from Limac. So, I have a proposition for Mark Steele. If you can take this to a recognised UK limited company who test radio devices, transceivers, receivers, or electronics, say a BSI recognised test house, or even one that deals with FCC clients, etc., etc. If you can take this to an approved test house and they can examine what is stored on the EEPROM and also get that capacitor to discharge all its stored electrons out of that antenna, I will give you £10,000 in cash.
Say that again.
Get that capacitor to discharge all its stored electrons out of that antenna, I will give you £10,000 in cash. 10 grand in cash. Recorded delivery with a money courier to your address. And not only that, because I know how expensive a BSI recognised test house can be, I will cover the costs of the testing of that unit. But if it's found to be that you are bullshitting, then you have to cover the costs of the test house. And I want you to tell all of your followers, people who have backed you, give you money via PayPal, GoFundMe, Crowd Justice. I would like you to tell every single one of them that you're a liar, a cheat, a con man, and a grifter. Challenge is set. 10 grand cash if you can get that capacitor to discharge all of its electrons out of that antenna. And that all the 8051 assembly language that's stored in there can be analysed and recompiled and proven that it is driving this SI1000 chipset from Silicon Labs to instigate that and get that to happen. How the hell you're going to get to 120 volt smoothing capacitor to bridge that separation through a fully rectified 12 volt in, 6 volt out, DC to DC flyback transformer that is pulled down further to 3.3 volts and 1.2 volts via that voltage regulator for the chip and the peripherals? I don't know.
Will Mark Steele accept the challenge? Or will he make up a pathetic story? They are not weapons experts, blah blah blah, but then again neither is Mark Steele. As shown by his 8-year jail sentence in 1993 for shooting a teenage girl in the head. Our second story goes over to Twitter. Ex-conspiracy theorist of 15 years Brent Lee, who challenged James Malville to a debate after a series of exchanges on Twitter, gets blocked. The exchange came after a tweet from James Malville on June 7, 2022. James Malville: "It's time for humanity to grow up and address climate change. Boris Johnson." Brent Lee replied, "Exactly 1 week ago. Take a train yourself. And then you might have a leg to stand on when you call them out. I'm flying up to Scotland next weekend to Goth Harry Styles gig with my daughter. The prices are off the scale." Brent Lee then replied with a series of 4 screenshots from James Malville's Twitter, with the caption, "He has been lecturing us all on it for years." Tweet from James Malville. Dated January 15, 2020. "This is genuinely disturbing. Oceans are now warming at the same rate as if 5 Hiroshima bombs were dropped in every second. Global warming is a genuine thing. It is not a marketing hoax or a liberal conspiracy." Tweet from James Malville. Dated June 18, 2020. "The Daily Mail and Fox News are where people who hate ethnic minorities, people who hate gays and people who hate climate change protesters, all gather to pretend they are just people who hate political correctness." Tweet from James Malville. Dated January 24, 2020. "Imagine not believing that extreme weather is caused by climate change, but believing that Noah's Ark saved the animals from extreme weather caused by God." Tweet from James Malville. September 24, 2019. "Greta Thunberg continues to upset all the right people. Perhaps right-wingers are threatened by Thunberg's overall point, which is that older generations have betrayed young people today by failing to address climate change. Her argument also has the virtue of being accurate. LOL. I had a fun interaction with James this week. Too scared to at me after recently exposing his former stance for lockdowns, so subtweeted me instead. I called him out and restated my 6-month-long offer to just have a conversation, not a debate. Result? #blocked. And for our final bit of truther news, we head on over to MikeyP, the leader of the extremist Free Big Psy movement. MikeyP thinks he can help free Simon Perry from being sectioned under the Mental Health Act, by harassing staff at the hospital and arranging protests, and showing us all that there are a lot more that need sectioning. All this will do is make things worse for Simon Perry, but the bell end, MikeyP thinks he is the new mass Saya.
Hello pips, only me, MikeyP, international domestic terrorist, and all that lovely guy. I might as well say I'm mental as well, give him 100 reasons to come and arrest me. Right guys, we've got a big push this weekend. Obviously Bigsy's still in there, nearly 60 days. Last turnout there was fucking pathetic, 30 people. It's at the weekend now, over Friday and Saturday I do believe. So guys, let's get some big numbers. There's less excuses not to turn up. They're literally a rule to themselves, we all know this, Section 3, Section 5.2, Section 5.2, Section do what the fuck you want, remove fucking parents, remove this, remove that, fucking above the law. That's what we're dealing with guys. So let's get ourselves up there and let the hospital know we ain't forgotten about Psy and we ain't going fucking nowhere. The numbers in the background here are growing and growing and growing, so get as many big media channels as you can. Couldn't give a shit if they're mainstream or whether they're red pill or blue pill media. Let's get them at the location this weekend, get mass coverage and make some noise. Go and show Simon that he's not forgotten, he's still loved, and let the hospital know we ain't going fucking anywhere.
If you fancy having your very own 28 days sectioned under the Mental Health Act, you can pop along and scream your truths. You have nothing to lose, apart from friends, family, loved ones and sanity. That's all from Truther News for today. Keep safe, keep well, and keep out of those rabbit holes, they are deeper than you think.